Can we really afford to be net zero by 2050 and have a green grid by 2030, which is only 5 years' time?
Absolutely not. I mean, we published a paper recently by a very eminent energy economist who suggested that Ed Miliband's Clean Power 2030 plan to decarbonise the grid in the next 5 years would add something like £25 billion a year to the cost of the grid. That's £1,000 per household. These sort of numbers are simply unaffordable now. We are in an economic crisis already, and for households to have to pick up that sort of a tab is crazy. I think we have to accept that renewables have been a catastrophic mistake, and we have to change direction because the alternative is economic meltdown. Previous governments have been pursuing exactly the same path as each other. We'll build renewables and we will deal with the problems as best we can as they turn up. So they've been hoping that somebody will invent some way of storing surplus electricity when the wind blows too hard so that we can get it back when the wind isn't blowing. Unfortunately, nobody has come up with any technology that's even remotely economically viable. So what happens is we end up throwing electricity away. We throw money at building the grid, but there simply aren't enough electrical engineers in the country to expand the grid at the pace that might sort of prevent those wind farm constraint costs from rising so quickly. But we just keep ploughing ahead. So have they been asleep at the wheel? I don't know about asleep. I mean, essentially, this policy has been pursued irrationally. It's a cult. We're going to do it regardless of the costs, and we'll just hope that people don't notice that their bills are going through the ceiling. People now are noticing. People are really feeling the pain, and we can expect those bills to keep going up. What you have to understand is that the cost of all the other stuff that gets added to bills, so subsidies and cost paying wind farms to switch off, that goes up pretty much every time they look at the price cap. Okay, it's quarter after quarter after quarter, year after year. Okay, so that will just carry on. It's going to accelerate as well because we're bringing wind farms on so quickly at the moment. So we shouldn't be surprised that our bills are going up. This has been going on non-stop for 10 years.
Andrew, pensioners worried about heating their homes this winter should just go and build a home that's eco-friendly and they're sorted.
Yeah, of course. Building homes is a different story to dealing with the existing housing stock. The cost of retrofitting insulation to those sort of standards on an existing house is absolutely astronomical. We are talking up to £100,000 for a relatively modest size house. So the idea that we can afford to do that in any sort of reasonable timescale is just insane. I mean, we are talking trillions and trillions of pounds. So let's not pretend that we can insulate our way out of this problem. The way of dealing with people who can't afford to heat their homes is to get the price of gas down, because that's how most people heat their homes. Let's not talk about heat pumps, because we know quite clearly that heat pumps will add to your cost, not take away from your cost. So there's so much disinformation going on here. We need less vision. We've had enough of visionaries. We need people who are practical and who are going to deal with the hard-nosed realities rather than the net zero fairy stories.